Welcome to Legal Consolidated's training video on vesting, getting rid of, destroying, and forever getting rid of a family trust. So a family trust is a beautiful vehicle, very common in Australia. There's hundreds of thousands of family trusts. They're often called discretionary trusts, family discretionary trusts. It's the same thing. But at some stage, like your car, you've got to get rid of it. Now, in my view, I think it's best to get rid of your family trust as often as you can because they go out of date. The trustees go out of date. My name is Professor Brett Davies, and I'm a barrister at the High Court of Australia and a partner at Legal Consolidated Barristers and Solicitors. So I have here our law firm's website. Now note, this is a law firm's website. Be very careful building documents on other websites because they're probably not going to be law firms. So just make sure it's actually got barristers and solicitors on it. Now I can build a family trust, I can update my family trust deed, I can build a corporate trustee, very common, particularly if you're running a business in your family trust. I can build annual distribution statements, I can forgive unpaid present entitlements, and that's money that's owed to the family trust. I do deeds of gift. I can do Division 7A, that's when companies are involved. I can also document loan agreements. Maybe you want to start the family trust by lending it some money. I also do a training course on family trust, but today I want to vest and wind up my family trust. So let's have a look at this document. As with all our documents, you have a full sample of the document. So you can see a full sample of what you're about to build. Now, I know that the sample will change depending on how you answer different questions. You can also see the checklist on all our documents as to the questions that will be asked. There's also a lot of help before you start building the document, little training videos, such as the one you're listening to now, which goes through the procedures you follow. This will all be documented in a covering letter you get with the document anyway. So I'm going to press the big green button, Start Building. Now I have hundreds of documents for hundreds of different clients, and I could pick out the data from one of the older clients. This is just a made-up database. These are not real people. So I could pick up the information for this particular document, but I'm going to start the family trust from scratch. And there it is. Over to the right, I see that I have got a hint. There's another training video. So there's hundreds of hints and many training videos to help you and guide you through the process of building a family trust vesting deed. So the first thing is, what's the name of the trust? Well, I don't know. Well, if you don't know the name of a trust, or what we mean by that question, then just go to the hints here and it will explain what the name of the family trust is. The most common name of family trust is a Smith family trust, which is to the annoyance of many accountants because they might have 400 or 500 family trusts, of which 50 of them are named Smith family trust. So it can become quite painful. So Smith family trust, maybe it's the Smith and Davies family trust, because maybe your wife was Smith and you're a Davies and want to keep that alive, whatever the naming convention was. Now, the date of the original trust deed, when was it first created? Now, but Professor Davies, my trust deed's undated. Well, there's a hint on that. There's a hint on what to do if it's undated. So I've now got a green tick, which means Legal Consolidated Barristers and Solicitors is happy with how you've answered those questions, the logic flow. The set law. Oh my God, what's a set law? Well, the set law is the guy that gave $10 to start the family trust many years ago. Maybe the nominal fee was $100 or whatever the amount. Why do you need the set law's name? The set law, you don't even know who it is. You know who it is, it's written in the trust deed, but you never really met the person. Or the person's dead. It doesn't matter. The settlor is just the person that primed the trust with a few dollars to get the trust going. And you never see the settlor again. It should never be a relative because the settlor can never be a beneficiary of your trust. So never make it your children, your family or whatever. Well, why do you need a settlor's name? There's a training video on that. So just watch the training video. And if you get stuck, just telephone us. We can help you answer the question. So in this case, let's say it was Brett Davies, being myself. I've settled a lot of trust in my time. Now, the appointor, well, there's a settlor, there's an appointor, and there's a trustee. That's right, there's three main players. The settlor is nothing. Forget about the settlor. The settlor just primed the trust with a few dollars. That means the game plan is the appointor and the trustee. Now remember this, the appointor is God. The appointer hires and fires the trustee. So the trustee is a squashed cabbage leaf. At the moment, I'm going to go to the trustee and look for the appointer, but I don't have an appointer in the family trust I'm vesting. I've got another name, such as principal, guardian, controller, anyone that, and sometimes, particularly the the 1970s and 1960s family trusts, they often just have a trustee being both the appointers, in which case you'd put that person in. So whoever's in control, will that put them in. Now in this case, it's a human being that's an appointer. Let's make it Colin Jeffries. So that's Colin Jeffries is the appointer. Often it would be Colin and his wife, but in this case, in which case you just press another appointer and put Colin's wife in. So they're the two appointers. The trustee is the squash cabbage leaf. It's often a company. So let's call it Cook Nominees Proprietary Limited. Now, don't forget, wind up your family trust before you get rid of the company. So there is the company, which is the trustee. I've now finished the document. I'm just going to go to references. I'm going to leave it as family trust vesting deed. That's fine. I'm going to, because let's say it's a financial advisor preparing this document, they'll select that box with their financial planning logo on next to our law firm's logo. I can remove Legal Consolidated's logo. Don't worry about that unless you're a lawyer. I can also have it printed and bound. I can also have a lawyer explain it. I don't need any of that. I'm now going to go to summary. And there it is. Lock and build is now there, which means Legal Consolidated is satisfied with the logic flow of that document. But now it's up to you just to check the spelling and grammar. So let's have a look. Brett Davies, that's Brett Kenneth Davies is the full name of the settlor. So I'm going to have to update that. Kenneth, which is my middle name. So now it is Brett Kenneth Davies, that's correct. The appointer's deed is Colin Jeffries, good. He's at 23 Sydney Avenue in Victoria. The corporate trustee is in New South Wales, that's correct. I'm happy with that. So now I'm going to press lock and build. Once I press lock and build, I cannot change the document. I can certainly get a voucher from Legal Consolidated and update it if I've made a spelling error or the settlor was wrong. I can always update it. But looks correct to me. So I'm now going to put in my credit card details. I have now built my deed of vesting of my family trust. Let's have a look at what we've created. So this document is a locked PDF. You cannot change it. That's because our law firm, our Australian law firm, is responsible for this document. So let's have a look at what we've created. So I'm just downloading the locked PDF. And there it is. First thing you will get whenever you build a document on Legal Consolidated's website is a covering letter from our law firm confirming that we prepared the family trust vesting deed. We are responsible for that document. Thank you for instructing us to prepare the attached family trust vesting deed. How to print it. We only act for the trustee. And there's a lot of advice there which you need to follow. Give this to your accountant if you're not sure on everything that needs to be done. Is there a resettlement, capital gains tax, responsibilities and rules? Now, often your accountant will say, look, could you speak to Professor Davies or Legal Consolidated about what to put in the final tax return? We've done it for your accountant. So that's how you will prepare the final trust tax return. The next thing, after a covering letter, you'll get minutes, and minutes set out what you're now doing. And the appointer is consenting. So it's not just the person representing the trustee that's signing the minutes, also the appointers will need to sign off. The third document is the deed, the actual vesting deed. Oh, Professor Davies, I'm a bit concerned that my family trust deed, I've got about 5 or 6 variations of it. I'm not sure whether we're allowed to do this. I'm not sure we can vest or wind up the trust deed, whether we're following the correct procedures. That is exactly the right question to ask, and this is how it's been answered. We're actually doing a deed of variation of your family trust in order to allow the vesting of the trust. So we are changing the rules of your family trust to confirm and comply with the Australian Taxation Office and the legal trust rules in Australia to make sure you can legally wind up your family trust. So there's the deed. There's the background. Smith and Davies Family Trust, created by a deed dated the 8th of February 2012, as settled by the settlor, Brett Kenneth Davies. Goes on, the vesting. Beautiful. It's interesting, all family trusts should contain this. There is an opportunity, if the trust ever goes insolvent, to try and lock in other people that were trustees and even appointers. So you should have in all family trust deeds a no partnership clause. There it is. The nominee company is signing, the corporate trustee, as I should call it, and the settlor is signing. Good. The fourth document you get is the checklist. So this is just going through to make sure that everything is correct, you're following correct procedures to wind it up, and that's the procedure you follow. And the final document you get is your certificate of vesting, which will sign after you've completed everything. There it is. You've now vested your family trust. You've wound it up. You've got rid of it. And the best thing to do is get rid of old trusts whenever you get down to a balance sheet with zero on it, other than the original settled sum of $10 or whatever it was. I hope you've enjoyed this training video. As you build the document, you're welcome to telephone us for free on any advice you need on the answering of the questions of this vesting of your family trust. Enjoy.